Right out of the gate, what is so striking here is the pure, relatable self-doubt of a young high schooler trying to guess his own future. This is pulled straight from the original description. The creator, Mr. Beast, writes to his future self with all the classic insecurities of a teenager. He assumes he's going to be done with high school, maybe through college, and maybe married, though he instantly undercuts that by joking that he's a loser. But the line that absolutely steals the show is that last one. If I still do YouTube, that will be crazy. You know, he really viewed the platform as just a passing phase, something that would be incredibly bizarre to still be messing around with a whole 10 years down the line. And honestly, the dramatic irony here is just staggering, because hovering right above that humble, super uncertain quote sits his current subscriber count, 488 million. Just let that number sink in for a second. 488 million. When he was typing out that description, probably just hoping a handful of people would care if he was still making content, he'd absolutely no clue he was on a trajectory to build an audience larger than the population of most countries. It completely recontextualizes this entire time capsule. So let's move into section 1, the creator's uncertain predictions versus reality. The totally ordinary life path he predicted for himself, yeah, that was completely shattered by his actual modern reality. He honestly thought he'd be navigating college exams or trying to find a normal job. Instead, the reality of his life is literally right there on the page, producing and starring in a video about a billion-dollar nuclear bunker. That single video pulled in 170 million views in just 8 months. The juxtaposition is just wild. The kid worrying about standard life milestones grew up to create content with the budget and sheer scale of Hollywood blockbusters. And the public's fascination with this massive contrast is totally undeniable. The time capsule itself, which finally went public in October 2025, racked up over 61 million views and 3.6 million likes in a mere 7 months. Now, to put that into perspective, for 99.9% of creators out there, 61 million views is a career-defining achievement. It is a massive viral peak. But for him, well, as we're about to see, that's practically just a drop in the bucket. Which brings us to section 2, the modern video empire. Because those 61 million views, they are actually tiny compared to his really massive hits. For example, a video titled "Lose 100 lbs, Win $250,000" sits at an astonishing 248 million views. And then there's the $1 million hotel room video, sitting at an unbelievable 439 million views. He has single-handedly redefined what a successful piece of content even looks like, pushing the absolute ceiling of viewership into the hundreds of millions for just a single upload. And it's not just the viewership that's scaled up to an insane degree. It's the capital. Hundreds of thousands of dollars are casually put on the line for entertainment. We're talking $500,000 to survive 100 days in a prison, $250,000 to survive 30 days chained to an ex, even just randomly giving away $50,000 to streamers who have 0 viewers. The teenager who joked about being a loser is now operating with the financial stakes of a major television network, directly funding these massive, real-world challenges. Let's move on to section 3. Dominating the content ecosystem. If you look closely, the algorithm completely surrounds his time capsule with his own sprawling network. If you watch just this one upload, the platform immediately serves you content from Mr. Beast 2, Mr. Beast Gaming, and Beast Reacts. But it actually goes way beyond his personal ecosystem. He's also featured prominently on massive, established media brands like Wired, where he's answering the web's most searched questions. He hasn't just mastered the recommendation algorithm, he has effectively colonized it. It is also incredible to note that he actually left another 10-year message, but this time it wasn't some lonely webcam recording in his childhood bedroom. It was on national television. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon hosted a segment where he left another message for his future self, reflecting on his very first viral hit where he literally just counted to 100,000. That television clip alone racked up 2.7 million views online. He's entirely bridged the gap between niche internet culture and traditional mainstream media celebrity. And his personal brand expansions now sit right alongside wildly popular, bizarre internet curiosities. Whether it's producing content about how his own chocolate brand Feastables is made, or collaborating with massive food influencers like Nick DiGiovanni, his content is served out right next to general viral internet noise. You know, things like a Venus flytrap eating 1,000 flies, or deep dive investigations into cheap IKEA tech. His brand is woven seamlessly into the fabric of everything else people consume online. He has become a fundamental part of the modern digital diet. Finally, let's wrap up with section 4, the final provocation. Because it all really comes back to these exact words. If I still do YouTube, that will be crazy.
He honestly thought simply remaining on the platform for a decade would be an anomaly. He was completely unaware that he wasn't just going to stick around, he was about to rewrite the fundamental rules of global entertainment. He didn't just survive the digital landscape, he conquered it, transforming a simple high school hobby into a billion subscribers. So I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder as we finish up this explainer. Considering the completely unimaginable leap from that self-doubting kid recording a quiet webcam message to a global titan orchestrating billion-dollar bunker challenges, what could possibly happen next? Seriously, what will the digital landscape even look like in another 10 years for a creator who has already captured 488 million subscribers? It is a fascinating question, and I guess only time will tell.